Excuse me, Mr. DJ.
Hey, check this out. We got a great show coming your way.
From the ECSI Sports Studios, the #1 sports information program in America, the Breakfast Bankroll, with your host, the sports broker, Jeff Dawson.
ECSI fans, you want to revolutionize your sports investing habits? Allow me to tell you about WagerWire. WagerWire is an app that helps you become a superior bettor by allowing you to sync all of your sports books and track all of your bets in one place. See your current action, your betting history, and stats. You can also sign up for sports books and collect bonus offers. Follow them at WagerWire on X, as they're the best account on the platform. Head to the App Store or Play Store now and search WagerWire to download the app.
Good morning, sports fans from all around the globe. I am the host, Jeff Dawson, East Coast Sports Investors, and this is your weekend edition of 3 Men in a Box for Saturday, December 30th, 2023. Our last show with Quentin and Matt for 2023, our regularly scheduled show on Friday, was pushed to today. Tough last couple of weeks. It's the holidays. It's travel days, vacations before, during, and after the holidays. And we are super stoked to have Matt, to have Q on board today. There's a handful of games this afternoon. One getting ready to kick off at noon, Mississippi, Penn State, followed by Auburn, Maryland, Georgia, Florida State, Toledo, Wyoming, and, of course, the two semifinal games on Monday. Georgia, excuse me. Thought it was going to be Georgia. Michigan, Alabama, and, of course, Texas and Washington. Shout out to our new sponsor and partnership, WagerWire. If you haven't downloaded the app, please run on over to Google Play. The logo's in the top corner right there. Download it. It's free. It's free. Start getting acclimated with that app. Start tracking your bets. Keeping track of your ROI like these gentlemen and myself do. Download the sports books in your state that are available to you. Take advantage of the free promos, the bonuses, the match plays. And get ready for 2024 because it is going to be absolutely off the charts. And if you're looking for some quick flash cash, why not send an email to affiliates@wagerwire.com. Tell them JD from ECSI sent you. They'll take good care of you. Travis, Zach, the rest of the WagerWire team, staff, and community, second to none. And so excited for 2024 and beyond. So without further ado, let's bring in the two stars of this show, Mr. Matt Grissom and Quentin Mills.
What's up, Jeff?
What's
Good
up,
morning.
Jeff?
So glad to have you guys here on the weekend. I don't want to say an abbreviated show, but Matt has bigger priorities, family. Family's always first in our book. So what we're going to do first and foremost, gentlemen, how was your Christmases?
Hectic but excellent. That's for sure.
Yeah, I second that. It's always hectic, especially with kids. But, I'm glad it's over with, but glad to have those memories as well. So my youngest son's birthday is January 5th. So he's already counting down until he gets to open presents again. So that's always lovely.
Well, we're winding down into the college football, and I'll just say this: the bowls. It's going to be interesting next year, especially with 12 teams in the championship tournament, I guess we should say, and actually what the value of the rest of the, was it 42, 43 bowls this year, with coaches being fired, with coaches getting ready to go to new jobs, with kids now entering the transfer portal, with kids deciding, hey, I'm opting out to the NFL draft, therefore I can't get hurt. I think the committee, these bowls have a tough job in hand trying to market these games because let's be honest. I mean, today's 4:00 game, Georgia and Florida State. Florida State's undefeated. They got no one playing for them. That line's up to 21. And we don't even know which Georgia team's going to show up, Matt.
Yeah, we just assumed that Kirby Smart wants to win this game, and Michael Norvell is not going to be able to with the team he fields. I mean, it's unfortunate. I wish we would have gone to a larger playoff before. I think we all kind of called it with the diminishing of the bowl games and what these teams play for. I mean, when you don't really have anything, you're setting aside and saying, okay, these 4 teams, their season continues. If they win, they have something to play for. Everybody else, sorry, thanks for playing. Here's a consolation prize. The Duke's Mayo Bowl, where if you win, you get a tub of mayo dumped on you. Like, come on. Give them a bonus, give them an incentivized, if you play, you get $25,000, something. But if the bowl games are going to continue and they're going to try to be a priority for players and coaches to play in and want to win, there's going to have to be some bigger incentives than, a pair of Beats headphones or something that they've been giving them.
Q?
Yeah, I think you said it really well. I think NIL's really crushed the bowl games on top of the college football playoff. Right now, it's 4 teams really matter. Obviously, that increases to 12, which will make a couple more games, in my opinion, well worth it from a gambling perspective, from a fan base perspective, etc. But if you're not one of those top 4, top 12 teams, or you're not a team that is maybe like an Auburn or like an Ole Miss, right? Or in Missouri, where you're trying to get to that next level. You're like right on the cusp of being elite. You're good. You're trying to get to that level of college football playoff momentum or ability. I think it matters to those teams, but there's only 2 or 3 of those each season. So for the 40 games, really only 2 outside of the college football playoff matter. And then first and foremost, you have, like you said, you've got a 1-loss Georgia team that lost to Alabama in the last game of the season. What team shows up? We saw that with them in 2019 when they lost to Texas. They didn't want to be there. Texas wasn't that great that year. Texas beats them. Georgia should have pounded them if they showed up. It didn't happen. Are we going to see that again this year? Maybe not, because Florida State is just so decimated because of the portal and the draft and things like that. But it's the same type of game. Both teams don't want to be there. They feel like they should be in the college football playoff. So from a viewing perspective or from a fan base perspective, I'd rather just watch them on my couch and save $2,000-$3,000 versus going and watching a game that nobody really cares about on the field. So,
yeah, and I think there's a huge advantage with the betting market in this is when you find those teams that really do want to win versus a team that doesn't. And hats off to us. I think Smitty posted the other day like we're 7-1 or something in bets, but like Missouri last night, loved Missouri. I just thought they were going to be more motivated than Ohio State. Notre Dame, yeah, Rutgers, Arizona, Kentucky. We had the points like Oklahoma State over A&M. I mean, the teams are going to tell you early who's really trying, who wants to be there. So take advantage of it in these bowl games that are so lopsided. Yeah, and we can get into a couple more that I think are that we have an advantage in today. Georgia being one of them that you've already touched on earlier. Now the spread's getting a little too high. I don't know, but I think Kirby Smart could come out flex if he wanted to. I said on our show a minute ago, Georgia could win 45-3 or 20-3. It just kind of depends on which Georgia team shows up and how hard they want to take it to them. But I think Kirby Smart really wants to go out on top. He's going to get this win, and I think he'll do it in a blowout fashion.
And before we dig into these games, it's kind of sad, Q and Matt, is that the fact of the matter that back in the day, the bowl games mattered because it allowed these teams to get another month of practice. It allowed them to work as a team to say, hey, guys, we got one more game. We're traveling from New York. We're heading down to Orlando, Florida. Hopefully the fans come. It's a good 3-4 day vacation for your families. But it allows us to get that extra month of practice. It allows us to take, hopefully, this game and build some momentum, not only to the spring, but the following year. And that's all lost and gone away now.
Yeah, it has. And I think, like Q said, NIL played a big part in that. I mean, what's the point going to the Belt Bowl and getting a $500 belt gift card, and a pair of AirPods? It's with NIL now, like they can go buy that stuff themselves. It's really not an incentive, but it is what it is.
But we've lost the college experience, which used to be a big part.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nick Saban said this is semi-pro football now. This isn't college football.
That's exactly
it's just point blank. Yeah. He said it. Now, again, there's some advantages. There's also some disadvantages. We could break that down like we have prior this year. If maybe it should be done a little differently. Things should be, maybe tailored or constricted or, just better structure. But right now it is what it is. It's NFL free agents. It's essentially college free agency for these kids. We just saw it with Kyle McCord. He went to Syracuse, but he didn't play last night. There's no point. You see some other guys, that aren't playing as well. Marvin Harrison still hasn't decided what he's doing, but he's not playing in last night's game. So that just takes away
no rule
from
on
it.
how often and how far in advance he has to tell everybody he's not playing. We all assumed he wasn't playing. But
Frank Harris, 20 minutes before the game.
Yeah, it just ridiculous. There's no rhyme or reason for it. There's no rules. Do whatever you want. Doesn't matter.
Well, as I said, today there's 4 games. There's one about to get kicked off. We got a bunch of people watching and listening here. Mississippi and Penn State. A game Penn State opened up at 3.5 with an under over. We'll say around 48.5 maybe in some spots. Now 5.5 and 53. Which Ole Miss team shows up? Obviously, the SEC Ole Miss team that could put up 40 in a blink of an eye. That offense won't be there. And going back to last night, I had the Missouri-Ohio State game on, and I will tell you, it was like going to the doctors and getting a root canal with no Novocaine. It was
Big Ten football.
It was awful.
Missouri should have just gone. Yeah, when they came to the SEC, they should have gone to the Big Ten. No, but hats off to Missouri. I feel like Eli Drinkwitz wanted that win. He wanted to take it to Ryan Day. Both of those coaches are kind of egotistical a-holes,
to say the least.
We can say that. But I think, in all these, let's call them invitationals, we've got a Big Ten versus SEC invitational, I think 10 times this bowl season. And I think SEC is going to, play on that and flex their SEC muscle. I think Ole Miss take the points with them. I think they're riding high right now. Lane's killing it in the transfer portal. They've got a lot of momentum. I'm not sure if Quinshon Judkins is playing. I think Q said Jackson Dart's going to play. I think Ole Miss, give me the better offense in this one. I'm not sold on Drew Aller, and big game Lane, big game James. We'll see which one wants to win this big game in the Peach Bowl.
He just stole my thunder. He took
Q's
every
thoughts?
word. Matt Grissom just plagiarized on national television. No, I mean, he's right. That's, to echo that. And Jackson Dart, there's momentum, right, in Ole Miss. They had a massive early signing day. They've had a massive transfer portal haul. Lane Kiffin's on the rise. There's questions around James Franklin. You just ran out. Well, I wouldn't say ran out, but Manny Diaz takes a job at Duke. Obviously, the defense is going to be pretty well rounded. They're keeping a couple of their star players, but it is a loss to not have Manny on the sidelines. He's a genius, and to have that as a disadvantage. There's offensive issues, play calling issues. They just made the offensive coordinator hire the guy from Kansas. But he's not there this week, so that's a big thing. We're going to see the same offense that we've seen. I'm not impressed with Drew Aller this year. I've talked about it time and time again. I think Jackson Dart is much more dynamic. I think he's a better player. I think he does take a little more risks, but with those risks does come more rewards. Penn State hasn't seen an offense to this caliber. I do think Ole Miss's offense is going to be able to score on this Penn State defense. Penn State outside of Ohio State, really hasn't seen an incredible offense. I mean, he saw a Michigan team that didn't run or didn't throw the ball in the second half. That's just different. JJ McCarthy, in my opinion, is not as a great thrower as Jackson Dart is. It's going to be a little different for these guys, but I think both teams are going to be able to score. I think there could be some love on the over, but I think Ole Miss and the points is the way to go, and it might even be worth putting a little bit on the money line for Ole Miss.
Auburn, Maryland, opened at 2, now up to 4.5 in some spots with a 48.5. We talked about Georgia, Florida State, 13.5, now 21 with a 46. And the forgotten game no one's talking about today, Toledo and Wyoming. Toledo opened up 1.5 with a 45.5. That has flipped. Now Wyoming minus 4.5 with a 44. I'll go to you, Quentin. I'll go to you first. Anything on the board today before we get into Monday night's action?
Yeah, a couple. I'll touch on that chronologically. I like Auburn. I think it's the SEC flex, especially with Maryland not having Tagovailoa at the starting quarterback position. Loxley's done a really good job kind of getting that program back to at least mentionable, but Auburn's doing the same thing right now with Hugh Freeze. Hugh Freeze won at Liberty. He's won, at Ole Miss. He's going to do it here in Auburn. Again, that momentum, the program. This is a game that we talked about. This is one of the few teams where a win like today matters. It gets that program continuously going in the right direction. I think Auburn gets this one. And then my best bet is actually Wyoming. I took an alternate line minus 2.5. Huge storyline there. Their head coach has been there for decades. It's his last game. They're going to travel to Arizona. They're going to beat Toledo. They're going to send him off in style. They haven't touched 9 wins since 1996. They get it done today with Toledo not having their star running back and their star quarterback, Finn. Toledo looked lackadaisical against Miami of Ohio in the MAC championship. I think they have nothing to play for now. Their 2-star players are out. Give me Wyoming minus 2.5 as my best bet.
Great stuff there. Matt, what does your card look like for today?
They talked me into the Auburn team total over 26.5. I took that minus 125. Outside of that, I'm on Georgia minus 16.5 or 17. I cannot remember. It should be tracked, though, if you go to NCAAinsiders.com. Quick plug. I don't know really what to do. I think this Iowa-Tennessee game is going to be one that you want to live bet. Just see the motivation level, see how good this Tennessee quarterback does filling in for Joe Milton and his ability to move the ball against a pretty salty Iowa defense. LSU, Wisconsin kind of let me down this year. I alluded to it earlier on our show. I thought they would be better in year one under Luke Fickell. They were not, but LSU is going to be without Jaden Daniels, and he was that whole team, in my opinion, outside of Malik Neighbors and a couple other receivers. But that's a stay away for me. And then the next one is tomorrow, Liberty, Oregon. And I'm all over the Ducks in that one before we get to the big one, the big two.
Anything, Q, to follow up on any of those games that you didn't talk about that Matt just broke down?
Well, I think the Georgia line's getting a little out of hand. I think if you do maybe an alt line under somewhere anything under minus 17, I think you're in good shape. You could parlay that with an Auburn money line, which is minus 200, probably get some decent odds. But again, what team shows up for Georgia? They could win 45-3, or they could be a 20-3, and you're sitting on a big loser if you didn't alt line that game. That's just, I think it's a safer play to do that, even though you're giving up a couple dollars. But outside of that, that's all I have for today's slate. And then I am leaning with Matt on the Oregon, which is tomorrow.
All right, Monday, Michigan minus 2, 1.5, 2.5, depends on where you shop against Alabama. The ECSI VIPs middle of August against your Razorbacks, Matt. I sent out on our second alert at halftime via DraftKings, Alabama plus 2,000. And we're sitting that in tow right now. I know you can get Michigan to win the national championship at plus 200. You can get Alabama currently right now plus 220. And then the finale. Washington and Texas currently at 4.5. What do you see on Monday's games, Matt?
Well, when I was out in Circa, I took Michigan 2-1 to win the national championship. I've got the 6-1 ticket on Bama to win it. I think the winner of that one wins it all, regardless who it is. On the other side, I like Texas to win this. It scares me. Our analytics have this basically a coin flip game. I think it's a 0.1% difference in projected scores. Washington's got a really good offense, obviously. Michael Penix. Quinn Ewers is good for Texas. They're going to be without Brooks that got hurt, but the backup stepped up and has played well. I guess the biggest question for me is coaching. I'm not a huge Sark fan. I think he's kind of overrated. Kalen DeBoer is a very, very good coach, and we haven't really seen Washington in a situation where he's had a month to prepare. So I think Washington actually, and I said I really like Texas on our show. The more I've thought about it, if this comes down to coaching, I think your two best coaches tomorrow night are Nick Saban and Kalen DeBoer, or 2 nights from now. So that would lean Washington and Alabama. But for right now, I'm riding out Michigan. I think it's going to be Michigan-Texas in the national championship, and I think Michigan is crowned victorious. So we'll see. Go Blue.
Q?
Yeah, my heart, I got family that works for the University of Michigan, so my heart wants to see Michigan win, but on a betting slip, I'm taking Alabama. I just think, and I talked about it on our show, we haven't seen Saban coach in 10-plus years. He's coached this year, and he's shown that he's still got it. We also saw him grow literally before our eyes like a flower, Jalen Milroe. I mean, the guy literally put the seed in the dirt this year. He had a little controversy of which quarterback was going to go. They stick with Milroe, and look what he's done. I mean, he's turned him into a leader. The guy can run. I think Alabama is just going to be too. I always say Michigan is slow. Big Ten football is slow. I think you see that flex the muscle in the SEC. I think Bama gets it done. They're in the national championship, and then I like the points for Washington. I believe it's +4 right now. Anything above 3, take the points. I think this is a 3-point game either way. What Quinn Ewers shows up? Do we see the Alabama Quinn Ewers or the Big 12 Quinn Ewers, or do we see him where he kind of struggled against Houston and they really had to battle back late in the game? If you fall into that category, you're going to struggle against Washington. The positive side is Texas has a great defensive line, but I think it's almost neutralized by Penix's ability to escape the pocket, throw on the run, or run for a first down. And then Texas is brutal in the secondary. I mean, I think either of us, as washed up as we are, could at least score a touchdown and have 4 or 5 receptions against that sorry lackluster defensive back. Sark, same thing. Big game Sark, what happens? Does he kind of falter? We saw him at USC struggling some big games. It's his time to shine, right? But I think I'm going with DeBauer and the points. I think Washington can win in an air raid. I think there's going to be a lot of points. It's a close game.
Well, it's been an amazing season for us. An amazing 2023, Matt and Q. We started last spring with your baseball analytics, your college baseball. We do shows every Friday, 3:30, where you guys break down the slate for the weekend. You guys are the best when it comes to college baseball. I don't care what anyone else says. And then we parlayed it into college football, and we ran through the gamut this season, and it's already over. Here at ECSI, we can't thank you two enough to be a part of our stage here, our platform, and giving out as much educational and winning picks as that you both have done. And we look forward to 2024 as we talk backstage. Give you guys some time to breathe, to work on your college baseball 2024 preview. I know I can't wait to get my hands on that. And when you guys are ready, the stage is yours to run with 2024 college baseball.
Sounds good. We appreciate you letting us use your platform to continue to grow, Jeff. We can't thank you enough. Glad you guys had a Merry Christmas, and I hope you continue to have a Happy New Year. Y'all celebrate, stay safe, win some bets.
Before we close, as we always close, guys, Matt, I'll lead it off with you. Tell everyone where they can follow you, find all your great work.
At Grissom on X, You can follow me there, NCAA Insiders and NCAAinsiders.com, and currently at a Hilton conference room with security that just keeps circling around. I can see them. So this is fun.
Yeah, NCAAinsiders.com, at NCAA Insiders on X, at Cumili. That's 3 L's, 2 Y's. We're going to be pumping out college baseball previews. It's our bread and butter. You know, we've kind of set our goals. Last year, I think we brought great information. I think this year we're bringing better information. So stay tuned. We've got some announcements and stuff for that. We've just got some more advanced analytics that we're excited to bring to you this season.
Can't wait, gentlemen. All the people watching and listening on our weekend edition, thank you so much. If you're not following us, go to EC Sports Invest on Twitter. Go to Grissom on X, and of course, go to Q Millie. Jump on over to YouTube to East Coast Sports Investors. Subscribe; it's free. Have a great morning and afternoon. Let's cash some tickets. From myself, Jeff Dawson at EC Sports Invest. From Matt Grissom at Grissom on X. Quentin Mills at Q Millie. We wish everyone a blessed day. Have a great weekend, gentlemen, and we will see everyone we'll see you guys next year. How's that sound?